Welcome to the Dietitian Side Hustle podcast. My name is Katie Dodd, and I'm a nutrition entrepreneur. I spent 7 years as a side hustler before diving into entrepreneurship full time. Before making the leap, I was bringing in 6 figures through my side hustle. If I can do it, you can too. This podcast is for dietitians, interns, and students who want to be inspired to start or perfect the side hustle of their dreams. Let's do this. Welcome to the 151st episode of the Dietitian Side Hustle podcast, Make Money Blogging. Now, this podcast is titled after a webinar that is going live next week. If you are listening to this around live-ish of the podcast episode dropping, then I want you to go to katiedodd.com. That is my Linktree page, and I want you to register for my free webinar on Monday, May 19th at 5 o'clock Pacific time, 8 o'clock Eastern time. It's called Make Money Blogging, and it's going to be so lovely. Now, I'm going to be talking on this episode today about making money blogging, but you'll want to be there because I got a whole PowerPoint presentation for you. I'm going to share behind the scenes with my own blog journey, how I got started, how I made money. I'm going to give you guys tools, checklists, things to start your own blog journey, because after you watch this webinar, you're going to be like, yes, ma'am, I would like to make money blogging too. So be sure to register. Those who do attend live, I will be doing a drawing to win my Beyond the 9 to 5 coaching course. So that's kind of a perk of showing up live. And the other perk of showing up live is I will send out a replay. Of course, I always send out a replay, but lifes. If we don't make a commitment to being there live, the odds of us watching that replay are really low. And I want you guys to see this information. I want you to consume it. I want you to feel the energy of being in the room with other people. We're a week out from the webinar, and we already have over 100 people registered. So I'm really excited about this one. It's the first time I've done this particular webinar. I've done my blogging as a business webinar, but this one's a little bit different. It's a little to the point on like, hey guys, here's how to make money blogging. Very simple, very to the point. So on this episode, I wanted to kind of give almost kind of a spoiler of some things that I will be sharing on the webinar, but I want to talk about the concept broken down so simply of how we make money blogging. Now, if you've been a long time podcast listener, you probably heard me say these things in different ways, but we need to hear things over and over and over again. When I talk about how to make money, I like to break it down like to where it's easy peasy to understand, and I break it down into 2 parts. To make money, you need something to sell and someone to sell it to. Now, the something to sell piece, that can be pretty easy for dietitians. Dietitians are actually pretty darn amazing content creators. As long as you know how to do the thing, you can create a really cool plan and package for working with clients. You can create some amazing handouts to sell online. You can create an incredible course that will provide massive value. You can connect people with other programs that you're an affiliate for that provides massive value. So finding something to sell actually is the easier part of the two. And you can actually make something to sell right now. Maybe you've already made something to sell, and then you put it out in the world. You tell your friends on Facebook, it's live, and no one buys. And you're kind of devastated because you're like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? Why is no one buying? But there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your product, probably. I mean, I haven't seen all your guys' products, but I know dietitians, and I have yet to see dietitians who make junky stuff. Dietitians, we're good at what we do. But I almost guarantee your product's going to be good. So that's probably why it didn't sell. Why it didn't sell is that you don't have the right eyeballs. You don't have the someones to sell it to. And that's really one of the hardest parts of entrepreneurship, is building an audience and finding the right person to sell to. Our biggest problem is that people just don't know we exist. But people need you. People need each and every one of you listening. You all have something to offer, something to bring the world, something to help people. People are currently struggling right now, and they don't have to be if we could just get you out in the world and serving them. I'm going to get off my high horse. Okay, so you need something to sell, but then you also need someone to sell it to. So I also want to think on the flip side of that, you could have like maybe a hobby where you've built up a really cool social media following. Maybe your Instagram, you got tons of followers, you're getting lots of engagement, thousands of people are watching your reels, but you don't have any products to sell them. So you could have lots of someones, but if you don't have something to sell those someones, again, you're not going to make money. So how to make money, we need this beautiful combination of having something to sell and someone to sell it to. Now, how to make money blogging. You need something to sell, someone to sell it to, and you need a blog. built on the right platform with the right strategy. And this is actually why I love blogging, and this is why I'm so passionate about it. This is why I continue to talk about it. And for the duration of my career, I will continue to talk about blogging because it really is that powerful. Blogging is a way that you can combine something to sell and someone to sell it to and have the opportunity to make lots of money. So let's talk about how does a blog do that? A blog makes you money by driving traffic. If done right, using search engine optimization, you can build lots of traffic to your website, the steady stream of the right people, the right eyeballs, your ideal client, lots of people coming into your world. Now, most people will never buy from us, but the right people come into our little funnel, and those right people, they're going to buy, they're going to be served by us. They're going to be so grateful that we created this blog and they found us on the internet. So a blog can drive massive traffic. Once you have that massive traffic, as you have conversation with your people, you figure out what is it that they want? What do they need? What can I create to serve them better? And what will they exchange money for because the value is so great to them? So that's when you start creating products, and you can create multiple streams of income, including passive income. So I like to think of a blog, and I've been talking about this more and more. I'm going to incorporate it with some pictures on my webinar about how a blog is really your online office. It is your digital headquarters. And I often hear people say like, "Oh, I don't need to blog. I don't want to blog." But I think not everyone really understands what a blog is. It is your online home base. It is your online office. This is how you make money. It is your platform that you drive people to, and then you have opportunities for them to work with you. So it really doesn't matter what you do. Dietitian side hustle is so broad. You guys all have very different interests, right? Some of you want to work with clients. Some of you are like, no way, Jose. Some of you want to work with brands. Some of you want to sell courses. The common denominator with a blog is that you can do every single thing you want to do through a blog. It is your home base. And I do want to say, I do use the term blog and website interchangeably. Technically, a website has a blog on it, but as a blogger, I just use blog speak. And when I say blog, I'm referring to a website with a blog on it. And the blog is what drives that massive traffic. So to make money blogging, again, you need something to sell. You can sell lots of things on your blog. You can sell, and I'm just going to kind of reiterate, I know what I've already kind of alluded to. You can sell packages to work with you. You could sell packages to a group or hybrid program. You could sell handouts, workbooks, toolkits. You can sell ebooks. You can sell print on demand books. You can have affiliate links to Amazon. You could have ads on your website where people don't even have to buy something. They just put eyeballs on your website and you make money. You can sell a course. You record something once, one and done. They continue to sell it. Um, the opportunities are limitless for ways that you can make money through the blog. And then you have people coming there through search engine optimization. And so that is how you're able to make money with a blog on the right platform, which is WordPress.org, and using the right strategy, which is leveraging SEO, learning how to be a CEO of your own blog business, and how to continue and work on our mindset stuff, because each and every one of you are capable of building blog businesses. But a lot of time there's mindset stuff that gets in the way. So that's one of the things that I do as a coach is I spend a lot of time helping people to work through any mindset stuff that's going to hold them back. Because blogging, like anything, it takes time. There is no get rich quick scheme. I will never ever promote blogging as a get rich quick scheme. I even tell people, hey, blogging actually takes a while. It takes a while to build. There's ways you can make money immediately, for sure. But when I talk a lot about passive income, and that's what people often want from a blog is passive income, that takes time. That takes work, that takes intention. But once you hit that sweet spot, that tipping point, holy cow, it is all worth it. So I will never promote blogging as a get rich quick scheme. And honestly, I will never promote anything on this podcast or in this platform related to get rich quick because they do not exist. And, and I know that we know that, but sometimes that temptation can be like, oh, I want to make money faster. It doesn't really matter what you build. It's going to take time, intention. And some people do grow fast, but usually grown fast without the right soil, without the right, foundation, usually, it grows fast, burns out, and then that business goes away anyways. So we're talking building a good, strong foundation of a long-term business that will continue to serve you. And with the blog, thinking of my blog, The Geriatric Dietitian, I really don't do much with it anymore, guys. It still makes me thousands of dollars every month in completely passive income. It is the coolest thing ever. And it's not just about money. The whole podcast is about making money, but it's not just about money. It's also about helping people. It's about serving people. Thousands of people visit my website every day, people that I don't know, people I would have never met. When I was working my traditional job, I did home care, so I didn't see a lot of people because I spent a lot of time driving. I reach more people in one day than I ever did in my career. And now, of course, it's different. I'm not working with them one on one, but the content I'm providing, it's valuable. I get feedback from people. I get emails from people, comments on my blog posts all the time about how the content they're consuming is life changing in huge ways. So, yes, yay, making money. But, even more than that is truly living our passion and helping people. And, I think that's why we all became dietitians, right? We just want to help people. We're so passionate about health and all these things. And we know how much fake stuff is online. We need more people like all of you to flood the internet with correct, evidence based, helpful content. So that way people actually get the help they need. Okay, I'm going to say other things. I'm just trying to remember what I was going to say. I thought before I hit record, I'm like, maybe I should write a script or put some notes of what I was going to say, but then I thought, nah, this is my imperfect practice. I just get on here and have a conversation with you guys. But really, I guess that's my take home is I want you guys to understand how to make money blogging. You build a blog on the right platform. You build traffic so you have someone to sell. You build multiple streams of income so you have something to sell. And that is how we make money blogging. That is oversimplified. This is why I want you to go to katiedodd.com. I don't know if you're listening to this on your phone or where you're listening to it, but when you get a chance, go to katiedodd.com. That's my link tree. The very first button is going to say Make Money Blogging Webinar. Go there, put your name, put your email. You can put your phone number, but that's not required. If you're like, I don't want you to text me, Katie, fine. You don't have to put your phone number. but the text message, it's just like, I can send you a text like, hey, the webinar's starting. And it just means you won't miss it because you aren't going to want to miss it. So go register for the webinar because it's going to be so much more in depth, lots of value. I'm going to be on there to answer any questions that you guys have. I know a lot of you are listeners to the podcast and we've never talked in real life. That's okay. Someday we will. But when you're on the webinar, I stay on until all of your questions are asked. I remember one time I did a webinar. I think I was on there for like 2.5 hours. And I don't want this to sound like you have to stay on to any webinar for 2.5 hours. My goal is to keep it at an hour. Sometimes I go over because I tend to I get excited about this stuff and I throw in a lot of content because I want to make sure that each and every one of you walk away with so much value. So don't be scared like, oh, 2.5 hours, that's too much, Katie. But I've had an instance where I stayed on that long because I was like, hey guys, I'm not getting off till you guys do. I eventually had to get off because there were people just on. At that point, there were no more questions. We were just hanging out because we were all having such a good time. We didn't want the party to end. And it wasn't just people walked away from their computer, but, people were still typing and engaged. But, questions kind of fizzled out towards the end. But this is a great chance for you to pick my brain. I am an open book. There is not one question that I will not answer for you guys. Now, I will say sometimes on the podcast, I filter things just a little bit, but when it's just us, friends chatting on a webinar, anything, open book, any of those deep questions you have about blogging, business, all the things. So that's an opportunity to actually ask me questions in a free platform. So make money blogging. Like I said, I feel like there's something else I wanted to say. Well, the good thing is this podcast is every week. So next week I can talk to you guys about it. And a spoiler alert, next week, actually, I haven't recorded the podcast episode, but I have the title. And next week I'm going to be talking to you guys about a book that I'm writing. The title of the podcast is actually called, I don't have it up. I think it's called I'm writing a book. And I'll be sharing all about the book that I'm writing. And I'm very, very, very excited for that. So thank you all so much for listening to the podcast. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope to see you all at the Make Money Blogging webinar. And if you listen to this later, reach out to me. Instagram's a great way to reach out to me. Facebook's another good place to reach out to me. If you go to katiedodd.com, there's a link in there that you could send me a message. Though sometimes that tech gets funky and I don't see the message right away. But you could reach out to me there and ask me for the replay. Because, I know some of you go back and are binge listening to these episodes. So it's 2025 right now, but who knows? You might be listening to this in 2028. So if you're one of those people, just reach out. I'll send you whatever we have. Maybe we'll have a more updated webinar if we're talking 3 years in the future. But I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope that you have the best week, and I hope to see you at the webinar, and I'll see you all next week on the podcast. Bye, guys.